I think we are good to go. I want us to start off. You can see we are live and we have started off very well. Our first thing is we are going to have feedback from you as we start off this session. And we have been talking on how we can have our learners managing this long holiday of 2 months at home. And we are coming from the corona period where we have not enjoyed this period since the comparison one, which was just a natural calamity. But now we are at home. So before I introduce my colleague, we going to do, our topic is very simple, and then we have engagement on our chat. I want us to have a discussion on a purposeful and intentional way of a learner to just in the pursuit of progress as a smart student. Purposeful and intentional pursuit of progress as a smart student. That's our intention, and we are going to have that discussion right now. So welcome. Let me welcome, before I introduce myself, let me welcome my colleague here to introduce himself.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nyoka. Yeah, so my name is Isaiah Mugambi. Yes, I'm a teacher at Tumutumu Girls High School, where I teach mathematics and biology with IT. Yeah, so this is what we are intending to share as my core facilitators communicated. Yeah, and we are intentional with the word purposeful and also intentional pursuit. Yeah, so, and that is what we'll be able to discuss. So feel free, yeah, to engage us, especially even as we talk with you today, and even as we engage on this particular issue. And you can be a parent, you can be a student. Feel free to reach out to us, and also feel free, yeah, to share this video to others, especially for the students and the parents. You can share and also be able to subscribe. And as we continue to share, engage us, feel free, yeah, to engage us so that we can be able to have a fruitful long holiday. Yeah, so thank you so very much.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Saya. And I didn't say who I am. I am Anyoka Joshua, an enthusiast of ICT. I'm a teacher by profession. I teach mathematics and physics in one of the great schools in the Republic of Kenya, Alas Tumutumu Girls. I know our learners are watching us, or you can even watch later. But I believe that we can share and reach. You can see the number of people who are watching is quite, we want it to increase so that we can engage each other on just a discussion that we are purposing on how a learner can become a smart student and you can be engaged during this long holiday productively. And by the end of it all, by January, we are back. Now, back to our topic. I'm going to do just an elaborate way of having our discussion. So our topic is, our topic, generally we are surrounding the environment at home and how we are going to have a learner who is pursuing excellence, pursuing progress in academics, pursuing progress in character development. That's the good mannerism, good morals, what is acceptable in the society. But this one must be pursued, must be intentional, must be purposeful. There's nothing that is accidental. I remember those who are scholars and those who have been propagating good manners in every society, they tend to do it intentionally. Everything is about intentional. That's our call at this time. So how can a learner become a smart student intentionally for these 2 months they are going to stay at home? So before I give opportunity to my co-host here, I want us to go through this surrounding. One, we are going to define how can you define yourself? And Mr. Sai is going to help us on how a learner can define him or herself in terms of one, tumesema intentionally, in terms of one, according to your environment. Where environment, we can categorize it into urban setting. We can have this environment in a rural setting, environment in a place we cannot say whether it is urban, whether it is rural, in an environment where we have even you are in urban and then you are in slums. But all these environments give rise to the learners. No, when they are in uniform, they are in school. They are all in uniform. They are all equal, treated equally, taking every meal from one corner, from one place. But now at home, they are different. Now, in these 3 categories, how can a learner manage, bearing in mind that the environment mostly is not about trees, it's not about buildings, it's not about the roads, it is all about the people surrounding. So we want to have an idea that and we know every good thing, every trouble that in the learner's life will start from the surrounding, will start from the environment. So we are here to discuss how can an environment shape you as a learner? And an environment should not control you. So on this line, that environment shapes but not controlling you. So, Mr. Saya, on now urban setting on the environment, how can a learner behave during these 2 months?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. That's a very wonderful introduction, and especially to bring us to perspective. Now, what exactly now is the reality that we have now to 25th of January? Yeah, so, and for this holiday that we'll be celebrating Christmas and the New Year's Eve. But I want to say that now, as my co-host has also been able to say, yeah, so a learner is someone who is now learning a particular skill, yeah, so or learning a particular subject. And I know that now for those that love looking for meanings also in the dictionary, we'll see that now they will say that the other synonyms of a learner is apprentice, a trainee, a pupil, a student, and all that. Yeah, so and I want to say that now in discussing about now learning the skill, physics, biology, or physics, of which now those are a few things that also we learn, but I just want to say, and there are 4 areas that now will surround the life of a student. And I will summarize them with 4 letters. That is S, E, A, and S. If you want to mention that, you can say that is C's. And we usually say those are C's of life. So for S, we'll say that is your spiritual life. Yeah, now it is going to be now C's of life, the 4 windows of life. So those are the few things. Those days that we will be there for 8 weeks for a holiday, and we've been having a crash program from 2020, and now this is 2022. Yeah, so that is quite a task that we need to be able to understand. These 4 areas of life, and how can we be intentional? How can we be able to live, and be able to come back in 2023 for the students and even the teachers, and also for the parents? We will have them. We'll have our teenagers, at this particular time when there is an information age. So we must get intentional about this particular point of life. And I want just to mention, maybe to start with, I'll start with the first area of life that surrounds a life of a student. and a life of also those that will be viewing and also those that are parents. And number one is what I'm saying about your spiritual life. Yeah, I know that now for those that are Christians, there are forums that are being organized for us. So I want to say that now how we grow in our spiritual lives also may dictate a lot of things that happen in the way that we do our things. Because one thing that I want to bring to our attention is that now that our students or our daughters and sons, we are in the formative stage where we are getting a lot of things. And actually the things that surround you, that is why we are very intentional with my co-host to say about the environment, because your environment defines your worldview. So, and then now, who are the people that now you surround yourself with? Maybe let's say, for example, in church. Maybe let's say, for example, in mosque and other places where maybe they meet in the place of worship. Yes, how intentional are we with the walk with God? And for those that now that are born again and are Christians, I will say that we need, this is the point that we can develop our convictions about life. This is the time that we can develop our values by attending conferences. Actually, we will be able to tell you of more conferences that are there so that you can be able to attend and be nourished, and so that you can be able to grow spiritually. Maybe I may want to
reduce the growth of a learner. Or a parent should actually wish that a daughter or a son will grow in these three dimensions. I can select that one because I'm a student of mathematics and so about logic. So the logical way I can analyze from what he has said, one is that that is on the matters of academics. How are you growing? You are progressing from Form 1, Form 2, Form 3. Not just physically only, but you are growing, not numbers, but you are growing mentally. You are now handling the Form 2 work, Form 3 work. And now, we are bringing in, how can a learner purpose? How can a learner pursue progress in the three dimensions? Now, we want to do a number of suggestions. Because our environment is very different, and we are going to intentionally address and make maybe suggestions on a number of gearing the issues, and there I make suggestions on how we can have these learners engaged during this 2 month long holiday. So I want us to start with, what are the possible? That's the question now. What are the possible engagements that you can have our learners engaged in? Mr. Saya has suggestively given one that is like accessing the moral aspect of the learner. For example, has given about the conferences. Sure. Conferences which are targeting the
on a very tall tree. So I want to say that now, number one, especially on these activities that we are suggesting and also we are encouraging us to be able to participate in, number one is to shape our worldview. And I want to say that now, when we learn from the people that have gone ahead of us, we are able to correct on the mistakes that now probably that we would have done and that they did, but they can tell us that this is not the way. But that is, if you follow this way, you'll succeed in your life as a person. You'll succeed also in your academics and also other spheres of life. You know, yeah, it will shape our worldview. And number two, will build our convictions. So, and our convictions is the things that we know, that surely we know. Yeah, so because I want to say that one of the challenge that we are facing as a generation is a place where we have a people that have no conviction. You know the song that has been running, Shughulika Dayako, and Sipangwingwi and all that. And we have seen even actually people singing and also, you know, advocating for the whole thing. But I want to say that one of the way that we can be able to succeed Yeah, so even in this area, and also be able to get ourselves now growing and also intentional and purposeful as students and people that are learning and growing, is that by getting to also have to develop convictions so that we can be able to pass it on now to our people that will come after us. Because I want to say that the greatest need for our people and our generation today, it is not only by doing studies, by doing many other things, but it's also being able to also pass it on to the generation that is to come. Yeah, because when we don't pass it on, the values, the convictions that are right, what will happen? We'll have a gap in our generations that will come. Yeah, so and that is one of the things that I will encourage. If there is a call for maybe for seminars in the church, yeah, so where you are, you need to be able to take it up. You need to take it up, because when you take it up, there are people that will be able to guide you through. There are people that will be able to, mentor you, that you can be able to grow as an awesome student, but also as a smart scholar. Yeah, so the other thing that I want to mention, yeah, so even about now during this long vacation, is about being intentional. Also, what a man can see when he is seated. Yes, a young man cannot see when they are standing on a very tall tree. So I want to say that now, number one, especially on these activities that we are suggesting and also we are encouraging us to be able to participate in, number one is to shape our worldview. And I want to say that now, when we learn from the people that have gone ahead of us, we are able to correct on the mistakes that now probably that we would have done and that they did, but they can tell us that this is not the way. But that is, if you follow this way, you'll succeed in your life as a person. You'll succeed also in your academics and also other spheres of life. It will shape our worldview. And number two, will build our convictions. So, and our convictions is the things that we know, that surely we know. Yeah, so because I want to say that one of the challenge that we are facing as a generation is a place where we have a people that have no convictions. They have no belief system. The right thing to be done. And by the way, that is where we have people saying, oh, my dress, my choice, and people say, the song that has been running, Shughulika Dayako, and Sipangwingwi and all that. And we have seen even actually people singing and also, advocating for the whole thing. But I want to say that one of the way that we can be able to succeed, yeah, so even in this area and also be able to get ourselves now growing and also intentional and purposeful as students and people that are learning and growing, is that by getting to also have to develop convictions so that we can be able to pass it on now to our people that will come after us. Because I want to say that the greatest need for our people and our generation today, it is not only by doing studies, by doing many other things, but it's also being able to also pass it on to the generation that is to come. Yeah, because when we don't pass it on, the values, the convictions that are right, what will happen? We'll have a gap in our generations that will come. Yeah, so and that is one of the things that I will encourage. If there is a call for maybe for seminars in the church, yeah, so where you are, you need to be able to take it up. You need to take it up, because when you take it up, there are people that will be able to guide you through. There are people that will be able to, mentor you, that you can be able to grow as an awesome student, but also as a smart scholar. Yeah, so the other thing that I want to mention, yeah, so even about now during this long vacation, is about being intentional also in our academics. Yeah, so at this particular point of time, that is where we have a lot of, ceremonies a lot of to places, we go visit our our relatives and many other people. But I just want to say that we need also to develop a schedule that this is what we'll be able to do even during the time that will be in the holiday. That is making a timetable and saying that this one I will still be able to do it because I know January is not very far. It is coming. Yeah, it is coming. You may think that now and also be able to commit intentionally to do that. That is when now we can be able to truly become smart scholars. Yeah, so that is what I want to mention. So get a timetable. Yeah, so if you hear there are online classes, yeah, so plug in. When you hear there is a school that has organized some program, a true mark of a smart scholar is growth.
Wonderful. So we are moving on very well. And those who are just following us as feedback and even to share to whatever you see an opportunity to make meaningful use of other places. Learning, you are adding some value. Or as a scholar. Environment.
Yeah.
What the one dimension that we others are online, joining the online classes, joining the tuitions which are being conducted in your surrounding, so that intentionally and you are purposing to grow. That the time you are getting back to school, it's not that you are too, but you are moving on.
You're moving on. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So because one of the things that you should be able to know is that even as you still work as a smart student, now, for example, for the people that, and when you know your identity, you'll never get it wrong. You'll not be in identity crisis. Yeah, where people they say, I don't know what I am feeling. The point is, as a smart scholar, you should know what are you feeling. And you can be able to say, I'm feeling pain, I am feeling joy, I am feeling that I'm joyous, I am feeling, because you are a smart scholar. So I want to encourage you and pray that even during this time, yeah, so the holiday that we will have, you know your identity. You not allow anyone to bring you to identity crisis. And you'll sing the song that says, I know who I am. I know who I am. So you are a student, but you are a smart scholar.
Wonderful. That's great, Mr. Isaiah. And we all about what we are underlining here is intentionally becoming a good scholar. Intentionally becoming somebody who is interested in academics. Now, as I have listened to what we have said and have analyzed, there is one aspect here that we need now to address. Mr. Saya, you have talked about a smart student, a scholar, everybody.
Yeah.
Not all the learners.
Yeah, smart. Yeah, sure.
Are much talented or much interested in academics, but there are other learners who are interested in talent. Here you mentioned something to do with something to do with having something in TikTok, having something. Now, let me now package it this way. As a learner, as somebody who is interested in academics, we have said intentionally become, do your best. As we are saying intentionally, purpose to do your best as in the world of academics, because all of us can learn to some extent. We may not do that genius work, but if we purpose and we intentionally focus on doing our academics, we will manage. Nobody who was born just blank. A man suggested that you don't know even the 10 names of your aunties. The manner in which you learn some aspects in a number of things, intentionally you can learn that mathematics, chemistry, English, Kiswahili, and other subjects. Intentionally you can manage to do that. So it's not about doing your best. It's not about having a commitment, doing a commitment, committing yourself to intentionally learn. But now, apart from that, we cannot just have talk about academics. And maybe there are others who are not interested in the same, but we have said bottom line, everybody is born a scholar. By the time you were born, you started learning, and the first teacher became maybe your mother, maybe your auntie, maybe you were under a certain guardian, but you came up with something. Let me say that you started learning. Nobody was born walking. You learned how to walk. Nobody was born talking. You learned how to talk. You learned how to eat, how to do a number of things, and you managed progressively and intentionally. Even your helper as you are growing up, you intentionally meant you to learn something. The same way your parents right now, your guardians right now are doing an intentional work. One, of having you in school. Some struggle, and because we are in a number of people when you talk about economic crisis and what, all of us are struggling economically, and those who are not struggling, okay, but to some extent, everybody is saying things are not working well. But remember, you are in school. Your guardians, your sponsors managed to have you in school 4 terms in the year of 2022. 1 term, 9 weeks, blah, blah, and you managed to be here. So that's one way that they are showing an interest, that they want you to learn and they want you to increase in knowledge. Now, what about those who are not academically endowed? Though we have agreed that everybody is born to learn, is born to grow mentally, and is born to do something new each and every time. Now let us come in. There are those girls and boys who are saying talent is everything. They are talented. Yeah, sure. They are even saying, Pasoma ilipi. Now, how can we have them now interested in? We are challenging them that everybody is born a scholar. Everybody is born to learn. We were not born knowing all things, but we in along the way we learn something. Sure. Now, how can we have now this person who is interested, and until even now talent is overcoming, is overshadowing the element of academic affairs? Now, how can we have this person now interested? So let us focus. Bottom line, academics is a requirement. Academics is like becoming a basic need. You want to say, yes, I'm a musician, I am a dancer, I am a blah, blah, I'm a TikToker, I'm a YouTuber, I'm everything. But bottom line, you say, I'm also a graduate of this university. I am this one by probation, but I'm doing this. So let us now encourage everybody that this duration you are at home, for the 2 months also, you are required to at least learn a skill.
Even cooking chapati.
Learn a skill.
Yeah.
Develop a skill. You are developing. You are 15 years.
Yes.
You can say, yes, I have passion in cooking. I have interest in IT. So enroll yourself in a number of classes, programs. Go to YouTube and learn a few skills. Practice these skills because we are developing. We are in a daring age. You know, somebody of my age may be cautious in doing a number of things. You say, you know, I may break my gadget. My gadget might be attacked by a virus. But with this age, you are able that you are blessed to have even a laptop, blessed to have even a smartphone. Learn skills. Use your gadgets productively. And that's one of our calling in Dilac Club. Digital Literacy and Mentorship Club, we propagate as learners are at home. They make productive use of these digital gadgets. For example, now we are having this discussion and we believe we are advising you that don't put aside your academics. Pursue your academics intentionally. Progress in your academics purposefully. So that as now you increase your skill should be a second option. Yes. Right now, I'm a teacher, but being a teacher it does not discourage me from encouraging my learners using the YouTube platform, and teaching my learners using the Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, and other platforms. Like now, we have to have a few classes. We encourage students from all kinds of schools, just come and we learn. As we challenge each other, how can we learn in the best way possible? That's the interesting bit of it. So how can we access this learning? It is by using our digital gadgets, using our smartphones, using our desktop. But now, why are we saying intentional when I say? Because not everybody who is interested in beating deadlines of academic arena assignments. You are told a clear assignment of 2,500 words within 1 week, within this time, and you are doing a research. But that one you will not fail. Because it's your masters and you are the person shida ni wewe ulijitafutia. So that one I was sympathize. You called me, yes, I'm doing an assignment of this number of pages, so I may not show up for this occasion. But I will say, create some time and let's have this fun. Let us have this, and as you create time for your studies. So now let me challenge you. You are in Form 1, Form 2, Form 3. Let me not mention Form 4 because they are on with their examination. But now, how can you fail? One, you are not struggling to look for that school fees. The only assignment you have been given is just to do your studies. You are not struggling to feed yourself. The only assignment that you have is to pursue progress in your academics. And we are not giving any room that academics is optional. When I say, is that the case? No. It is not. And the bottom line, we have agreed, everybody is born to do a bit of studies. Yes. Even those who are in the matters of spiritual affairs. You are a chaplain of a given institution. Yes, a chaplain of Kenyatta University. You want to face people. Some of them are genius. Very well. Who are using better vocabulary than yours. Yeah, sure. So you must study. At that age, you must challenge yourself to do what? To do your studies. Now, if grown-ups are challenging themselves to do studies, what about somebody who is at the right age of developing his or her studies as high school students. As you interact with those who are in the university, don't assume that you are also in the university. As you are interacting with your cousins, to your siblings who are having their studies in tertiary institutions, colleges, universities, don't confuse yourself as if you are in the university.
You're in the university, sure.
That's what all about the environment. Environment, we say that actually the people surrounding you. Environment is not about trees, not about the buildings. Yeah, the people surrounding you. And they should not control you. Their thoughts, their behavior, their manner of doing things should not control you, but rather it should shape you. You don't wait until you learn by experiencing by yourself. Mr. Isaiah, if you touch fire, you'll be burnt.
Yeah, sure.
Can I come because Isaiah has been burned and I've witnessed him being burned? Then I come and say, I have to touch it by myself.
Yes.
We are not born to experience everything.
Yeah, sure.
If you have seen the way things have gone of your cousin, of your sibling, of somebody who is close to you, somebody in your neighborhood, you should actually learn from there and say, I cannot go this route because someone was in this route and this was the outcome. So we cannot just be experiencing everything. Now, I want us, as we are moving on, those who are joining us, you can give us a text, a comment as we read, and then we come on as we continue with this program. Wonderful. Now, once we are done with that aspect, now let us come to the definitions of academic ability. So, how can someone, as a learner in secondary school and Form 1, how can you learn to define yourself academically? How can one define himself or herself academically?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah. So, and a very good sharing with Mr. Nyoka that you've done. Yeah, so especially now as we communicate about now being a purposeful and an intentional scholar. Yeah, so, and I'll say that now as a Form 1, one thing that you should know, and as I've always, as I said, is that you need to know your identity. Yeah, know that I am a student. For now, I am a student. And number 2, you know that now deep within you, yeah, so you have a lot of potential. Number 3, so for you to be able to become a very good scholar from Form 1, is that you know that there are many other abilities that I have within me. So it has to start within you. So that now when you have a lot of confidence, and when you know and your convictions about yourself from within the potential that you have, you'll not be lured. You don't lose the track. Yeah. So even when now you are interacting with other students, when you are interacting with other people in the society and the environment that surrounds you, so you'll get to be intentional. You know that this is where I'm supposed to be, and this is what is required of me, and you'll be able to pursue that. Because one of the challenges that we face, and especially as students, so it's the point of us, not knowing our identity, not understanding the potential that is in us. And we allow the peer pressure to take the right stage in our lives. So what I will say is that now, get now to know that there is more that is in you now, and be able to work through. Yeah, so those abilities that you have, opportunities to exercise them, and so that you can build yourself up as a smart scholar. I think that is what I'm saying.
Wonderful. So defining yourself, you must define yourself in these dimensions. As we started off with by defining yourself according to the environment that you are living in. But the environment should shape you, should make you learn, not to influence you negatively, not to control you, but rather control yourself. One, it does not matter the environment you are in. If you have defined yourself academically, who you are, and if you have offered yourself a definition of a scholar, somebody interested in academics, and having an interest in academics is like a must, because where we are going and whatever the government is preaching is all about 100% transition to secondary school. And very soon, or right now, we are in, as I see the activities of the government, it's all about 100 transition to tertiary, having a tertiary education. That's why we have so many debate institutions, which are others being opened, others are running smoothly, because everyone needs to have a skill. Okay, you have your secondary school life you have done. Now you should have a skill in mind. You must have the tertiary level. What are you going to study? Which area are you interested in at tertiary level? Now, after now we have defined somebody and discussed what the environment is. Now there is one thing here that we want also to define ourselves in. Define yourself in terms of purpose, in terms of destiny, in terms of the future, in terms of character, in terms of interest, in terms of a number, as a whole package. Who are you in the 3 dimensions that we agreed? Are you a Christian who practices Christianity? Are you a person who is not who you define yourself with what the environment has offered to you? That's what that you consume anything. So long as the environment is randomly picked from your village, from your surrounding. If somebody is just picked randomly from that environment, from that place that you are living in, somebody is just picked. Tunakuja tu tunachukua mtu tunasema Mr. Taya, do you know Grace? Yes. Who is Grace? Who is Grace? I'm saying somebody in that environment, in that surrounding. If you are now your guardian, would just be asked a genuine answer. If God comes and asks your guardian without, because God knows everything, that's how we were taught in Sunday school. Yes. And now that God knows everything, so I'm pretty sure your guardian will not lie to God. Now, if somebody is picked from that surrounding, how would that person define you? That's quite a challenging affair, challenging idea. That will say so and so son, so and so's daughter is of. So when a person has interest in defining you, it is all about defining you in a very wholesome way. So and so is a student. So and so is a person of good morals. Is a person of good character. Is somebody who is interested in doing this and that. And which testimony somebody can give about you if somebody is just picked randomly and asked about you. Now, we don't live by what people would define. So that about believing in yourself. It's about believing in your ideals, in you, so that the reality will come from those ideas. Yeah. Now, in terms of purpose, how can Alana interpret herself or himself on accept moral standard? That one we may not exhaust because it is a question of defining yourself according to the purpose. A question of simply defining yourself what you stand for in terms of principles. I know at times as a learner you can even be told to do this and that, even by your superiors. But in a very courteous way, you simply say, excuse me, that one I may not manage because it's going against my principle of this kind. You know, shock somebody at first. Will you understand? Who is this teenager talking about being principles? It's going against one of my principles that I stand for. So the more the principles you stand for in this life, even the better.
Yeah, sure.
So long as they are shaping you as somebody who is a scholar, somebody who is standing for good morals in the society. How do we define morals? It is something that is generally acceptable. If I pick what is moral, what is right, and what is wrong, having some weird way of thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Only that person. Yes. A person of good integrity is advocate here. What we are advocating is we are growing morally acceptable. Now, after we are done with that, now here comes a question. Alana cannot be a good scholar minus support system. Let us discuss something to do with the support system. What is the support system in someone's life? Who is actually now between the age? Let us have the age of 10 to the age of let's say 10 to 20.
Yeah.
What is the support system that we are going to have? Mr. Saya, we have gone through the definitions of Alana. Yeah. We have concentrated more on Alana. Not showing that Alana does not live in a vacuum.
In a vacuum, yeah, sure.
Support system. Support system of Alana is that force behind you, driving you towards achieving your goals. The dream bear. No, as Alana, you cannot dream alone. Like now, at times when I'm introducing myself in different forums, I say, I am so and so. I am a parent of so and so. And I even spell out the dream I have for my people. I say, I have a son who is in grade 1, and I am dreaming that one time he will be assisting in the profession of this one. Yeah, that one. Eh? So I am the support system of this child. So support system can be the wings to fly, which is having a certain dream of Alana in secondary school after scoring very high marks in the primary and has been admitted in a certain school. wings to fly has a certain idea, believes in something that in the future we want to mold this learner so that is the support system that we are talking about. Now let us now advocate what can we positively encourage the learner about this smart school, about the support system about the learner. Yes, Mr. Saya.
Yeah, so I want just to mention it is true that as my co-host has said, is that a learner does not live in vacuum. So we have the parents as also the part of support system. And I want to speak about maybe the parent as a support system. Yeah, it is quite lengthy that you'll be staying with this boy and this girl. And for the past, maybe that is for the past 2 years, you have only been seeing them for a week, for 2 days, and then now they go back to school. So one thing that I want to mention is that someone said, monkey see, monkey do. Yeah, so, and I want to say that at this particular point of time that now we have them now at home, we need to be able to be also very intentional so that we can also pass it on, the values that they can learn from and be able to get to become responsible parents when they grow up. Yeah, so that they can be able to get now to board with you. Yeah, so that they can be able to open up. They can be able to be free with us as we board with them. For me, I would say that this is a blessing. It could be a long vacation, and there are many things that can happen, Mr. Nyoka. Yeah, but then there is a point that we need to see that is positive of us getting more time to bond with them. Yeah, to be able to pass it on, their values, to be able even to, in number 3, also to teach them the informal things, yeah, that they can't learn in class. Yeah, so maybe mannerisms at home, so that you can raise a people that are manners, even as citizens of this republic. And that thing that also we can also teach them other skills, other soft skills. Yeah, so even about how to prepare some traditional uji, and many other things that we cannot end a list of them. So I want to say, even for us as a parent, as a guardian, as an auntie, you have a blessing to stay with them for this quiet amount of time. So you have a great opportunity to impact their lives. And that is what I was saying maybe for parents, Mr. Nyoka. Maybe you can be saying something about maybe especially the support system. And now that it will be there for, that quiet amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me as a preacher, I will see this a great moment of impact. Yeah, so and casting out demons that has been disturbing them, Anyway, but yeah, it's a great opportunity. Yeah, it's a great opportunity.
Wonderful. Oh, that's great, Isaiah. Now we are at the stage that we, from Mr. Isaiah's just submission, is that a parent, a guardian, or a sponsor is that support system that the learner has. And you wish that a parent becomes that parent, even he or she wishes that his or grandchildren will have. Because you are at a stage, because it's a continuous process. You are someone is a granddaughter, grandson, and in the future you will become a grandmother, grandfather. Now, that grandchildren that you wish to have, are you the parent that you would wish the grandchildren, your grandchildren should have? Are you available to address a few concerns of, or you have given your responsibilities to serve with parents, to other people? Okay, in school, you find that Alana has so many parents, has so many teachers to look up to, and they consider learning a lot from them. And the society is very cruel when it comes to teachers. If a teacher misbehaves to some extent, is handled harshly because is handling the young ones, the young mind, because these young minds should learn something from the teacher, something that is morally acceptable. Okay, a role model way of doing things, and that one, if even whoever is becoming an employer for a teacher, always wishes that you should behave a manner that you are propagating some mannerism, some aspect of morals to the people that you are leading. Now, this aspect, now to crown it all, as a support system of this learner, do your best. We may not dictate, because at times you have to go ahead and look for something that is supporting, that will enable you financially or in many aspects to support this learner. But we are advocating that at least try to be that guardian, try to be that parent you wish your grandchildren would have. That one is very clear.
Yeah, sure.
That you don't wish your grandchildren to be having parents that you are going to complain about. Then now, all said and done, we are in different generation. We are handling the learner of 21st century. And most of the parents, they were students in maybe the early 21st century, which added some spillover of the 20th century. Some were in their secondary schools in the other century. So there is a way these parents were being handled by their parents. And remember, most of these parents were not parents who are now grandchildren to the current generation that we have. They were not, some of them were not much educated. Okay, there were others who were educated, but majority were not. Because we are talking parents of the 90s. And in the 90s, you see this somebody, if did not go on well, we can count the number of graduates then. And actually, graduates are becoming more and more as time is advancing. So, but now we are now handling people of the children of the 21st century,
Generation Z.
Generation C, as Mr. Isaiah has put it. Now, what as we are handling this learner, is a learner who is much interested in more of the social platforms affairs. Is a learner who can be denied access to a phone and become a mau. Literally, is fighting for his own right.
Yes, and it's a phone.
It's a phone, but now I imagine someone has taken my phone. One time I went to advise a student somewhere. This learner was in phone too. And the parent decided that I can come so that we talk in at the close wavelength. And the major concerns were about the phone. When I talked to this learner for almost an hour, our conversation did not continue because he was giving ultimatums saying, I cannot proceed with listening anything until I have my phone. They are the same people who bought for me this phone as a gift in my birthday. Now, how can they name that phone? I'm getting used to it. My friends are in TikTok. My friends are in Instagram. My friends are socialites. I'm here. Teacher, we cannot proceed in this discussion until I have my phone. To some extent, I advise the parents, denying this phone from your daughter, it is doing more harm than good. What I wish, go and have a discussion on the timelines on how to use this phone, because there's a conversation. I have tried to talk to her for all this time, but the only statement is, I cannot listen until I have my phone. My phone. And who bought this phone? Parent. As a gift. How can you take back a gift that you bought for this? So I was equally even challenging a parent. You bought this phone, yes. Did you consult before buying a phone as a gift? Did you know the outcome of this? Yes. Now that the phone has been used for misbehavior, let us now manage the phone, because half a timeline of 1 hour you are using. Now, why am I giving this story? Because at times our learners are really minding about those phones a lot. The other day I had a conversation in our digital literacy and mentorship club with regards on now the responsible usage of gadgets. They told me, I was just asking a question. What is this that you are missing while in school that you, to my surprise, they did not say even food. They said phone. They said phone. So if a parent at home preparing to receive his or her daughter is shopping and having everything edible in the fridge. My daughter has been in school, my son has been in school all this time, welcome, will eat very well. But immediately as he or she lands home, the eyes are on the phone, not even the fridge, not even at the parent. Yes. The eyes are on the phone. Mom, who touched my phone when I was not here? Now, let us now come to our club. We run a club called Digital Literacy and Mentorship Club. Our call is responsible usage of digital gadgets and its applications. I have much to try to hide these gadgets from the learners. To some extent, they are causing more harm than good, because they are grieving, they are actually mourning about the phone as if it is dead when they don't have it. Yes, you take it, you hide it somewhere, but they think about it more than. So what we are advocating is responsible usage of them. You can have even a timetable on how can you use this one. For example, I said we have YouTube Live at this time, and we want to use the gadget to join. We wish that this gadget can be availed for the purpose of using it to discuss purposeful pursuit of what? Excellency as a scholar. Using the phone. Which application are we using? YouTube, we are using Facebook, we are using other platforms. From Friday, we have just an online, the onset of an online classes. These classes cannot be attended by just face-to-face. We are using now, we are calling for responsible usage of these digital gadgets. So our interest is that how can we use these gadgets productively in mentorship of the learner, in the learner and influenced towards the right direction. And now we have Dilac Online Academy, which is taking shape. And we are starting our learning on Monday, the 5th. But we are doing the piloting and the testing of the platform to use on Friday, Friday 2nd, so that we can start learning on Monday. So wish that we register as many as possible so that we can advance the productive and the good way of using our digital gadgets. So that's all we had today. We thank you for those who joined us, even if we had the communication lapses of having a blackout here and there, but we managed to have this discussion. And whatever that you missed, we are going to premiere it later. So we wish you well, and I welcome Mr. Isaiah to have a parting shot.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Mr. Nyoka, for such a wonderful sharing, and also this time that we've had. So we want to encourage you that